understanding business plays a very important role, because
Yes,
many times we have seen that people, they are good developer or good engineers, but they are stay away from the business, and that's one hurdle for their career growth.
that is true because they don't know what they are solving. Why should I write a data science program? What will it solve? Either it should increase my sales, it should reduce my costs, it should find me new opportunities as a company.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Career Conversation podcast. I'm your host Dushyant Bhatt. In this podcast, we invite industry experts from various domains to share their learnings and experience, so we can guide new professionals what are the skills they should focus on. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Kiran sir. Kiran is a technology leader with over 20 years of experience in data analytics and digital transformation, and worked with the Fortune 500 companies. Kiran currently working as a VP and global head of data analytics at Birla Carbon. So welcome Kiran to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Dushyant, for having me. Appreciate it.
Great. So how was the journey from GE appliances to the Birla Carbon in last around 20 years?
Very enriching, I would say. So I started with GE as a fresher, just straight out of college, right? So I just tried my luck, some got through, and from there my tech journey started. And it was a very, very interesting journey even within GE. I spent about 15 years,
Mhm.
my formative years and the solidifying years in GE. So there I started as a programmer. Uh, I used to do a lot of hard tech Java programming. I developed products. Then I was very fortunate to get into leadership program within GE. So they call it as a information management leadership program,
Mhm.
and that really shaped me up into an entirely different person. So it's a 2-year program. Every 6 months you get to work on new technology, new leadership, unknown teams. So that kind of opened up a lot of things, in me. And then I transitioned into CRM space. I was running CRM programs as a program manager. I've done quite large CRM programs with GE appliances, and then GE Healthcare as well, which is another GE company. So I was part of two GE entities, and GE Healthcare was probably the biggest of my career, where I got an opportunity to handle an end-to-end $65 million program.
Okay.
That was probably I was probably just about 13, 14 years in my career, and that was a big undertaking. And I stood up and took up that challenge and delivered that program. That gave a lot of savings for the company as well. So very satisfying, a lot of rich learnings, a lot of rich leadership and tech learnings. And from there, since I was so business and functional knowledge has always been part of my career, and then that is where the data journey has also got kicked off for me within GE. So we built the CRM platform, and then there was a need to start looking at the data and find new opportunities for the company. So when we were deciding to set up an analytics platform, I again raised my hand and I started there. So the beauty is you are given those new opportunities as well,
Mhm.
right? So took a lot of risks, went through a lot of technologies, and from there I then joined Cognizant after about 15 years in GE. I joined Cognizant as a director data analytics, and I was instrumental in setting up the GDPR program and the compliance for
Mhm.
for the Cognizant internal CIO organization. That is another big one, big step in terms of data governance, security, privacy, especially the regulations. From there, then I also had a brief stint doing the customer programs in the life sciences vertical of the Cognizant itself. So while I was doing that, I got the opportunity at Birla Carbon, entirely a new, different opportunity to head
Right.
the global data analytics portfolio in the manufacturing domain in Aditya Birla Group, Birla Carbon. So I just grabbed the opportunity, and here I am. I think this December I'll be closing 2 years in the company already. So very enriching experience, lots of great learnings, leadership, exposure. changed me completely as a person.
Great. So I think one thing you highlighted is the grabbing the opportunities, right? Whenever you're finding the opportunity, let's take the risk and grab the opportunity, and which helps to grow faster than the other people.
It is yeah, it is very important. We'll see a lot of times what happens is we don't do that. There is probably some
Hmm.
self doubt of can I do it or not, which will make us lose a lot of opportunities. But what I strongly learned, even the ecosystem, helped me do that, is just raise your hand, do your bit, give your 100%, and the ecosystem will take care of it, for the rest of it for you. People will be supportive, people will help you out. You
Hmm.
can learn the things which you don't know and move forward. There is nothing like failure. It's only probably you go very fast or you go a little slow,
Right.
but you will always move forward.
And how you see the evolution of technology from last 20 years, how it been and where we are leading to.
Yeah. So this is very funny, right? So I keep telling my children as well. So I've seen technology, right from the computers getting introduced, the television getting
Right.
introduced in India. So like from there to a floppy disk kind of a
Hmm.
computer to a laptop, and now cloud, everything on your in your hand in terms of a smartphone, mobile, uh, enormous tremendous pace with which, at least in the past 10-15 years, the technology has become really super fast in evolving. Lots of good evolution is happening. It's very difficult to keep pace with what is going on, but
Hmm.
what is happening is always happening for the good, right? We are always seeing incremental benefits because of the technology. So yeah, I was very fortunate, I would say. Not many people would get that opportunity to see the curve go up. Yeah.
Right. And how we see the role of data analytics, data science, or AI has been evolved, and how it's moving ahead.
So that also came through big amount of change. So initially, data analytics was probably all about some reporting, dashboarding,
Hmm.
a data warehouse, a business warehouse kind of a language, right? That's what everybody was trying to do. Then you start moving towards cloud, and suddenly the data lake became a
Hmm.
big buzzword. Hadoop, data lake, and all of that started coming in. From there, to now, where the data lake house concept has evolved, which is a very, very, very important step. So
Hmm.
the biggest shift that has happened is an ability to not only tap into structured data but also unstructured data. Today, that is making wonders.
Hmm.
You can talk to machines, you can talk to the software systems, you can use the general, voice, video, everything together, and then combine and make a lot of analytics out of it, which was not the case earlier. So while that is happening in parallel, at least in the last 5 years or a little more, a lot of focus started coming on data governance.
Hmm.
How do we govern data? How, right from creation to management to the time data gets archived or destroyed, what should be the life cycle? How do
Right.
you go about it? How do you make it secure? Data security is a huge deal. Privacy regulations have come to the forefront, which was not the case. People did not worry about it until
Hmm.
GDPR and other regulations really came in and pushed for it, right? And now we are seeing AI become the next wave of generative AI
Right.
systems. We are talking from building analytic systems to stopping hallucinations in AI. So we have come
Right.
to that far. A 360-degree, change. So I think even data analytics people started taking advantage of the latest tech, and not just tech, process-wise, governance, security, and privacy has taken the center stage.
Right. And if you try to simplify some of the jargons which used in industry, either in terms of data analytics, what is data analytics, data science, data warehousing, data lakes. So people are confused what all these terms are.
Yeah.
So
So let's go very simple, right? So there is, let's say you, a company X is there, which is like creating some, let's say, tires. So they create tires and they sell tires. So the whole process of, okay, how many tires did I create, how many tires did I sell, to whom I am selling, is all information sitting in some ERP system of record. But that will not tell you your performance. So that is
Mhm.
when you start building a very small reporting system or dashboard into, let's say, a data warehouse or a data lake. Data warehouse is all about structured information. It is
Okay.
all about this information which is from a tabular format. Data lake will also help you take information which is probably text based, which is time series data, which is zeros and ones, a binary information, which is a CSV file, which is a image, or these kind of things also. So the
Mhm.
moment you hear data lake, we should know that it is a combination of tables and rows and columns, as well as flat files or etc.
So we are seeing that this all started because the data is keep on increasing. In 2000, there is less data, so we just have normal reporting and that works fine, right? It's just normal queries, data is coming and populating. Now, as the time is moving ahead, we have more chunk of data, and it's not possible for any basic tool to process the data. And then we have more a structured approach in terms of getting the data. So then we have data engineering to bring the data, data science to process the data, and data visualization to show the data.
Yeah, yeah. So a slight change, data science is not to process the data. Data science is to create any futuristic predictions. The
Right.
processing of the data is still data engineering.
Okay.
Bringing information and just making some KPI kind
Hmm.
of things, right? That is still data engineering. But if you want to predict an outcome,
Hmm.
that is where data science is going to come.
Right. And now, if we go, because as you mentioned, these are the three main fields we are having where we see the more opportunities in the future. Because data is keep on growing, and we have more people required at different places to work on these roles, right? So, what are the skill set we see role by role? That what are the skills required in data engineering, data science, and data visualization in detail?
Yeah. So today, and probably in future, it is all about cloud. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
whatever we build on a cloud data platform.
Right. Right.
So there are today there are majorly three broad cloud data platforms. There are others also. Everybody's trying to build their own platform, but usually, if you look at
Right. Right.
the industry, Azure, Microsoft-based Azure is one very big platform. Then AWS, Amazon Web
Hmm.
Services based platform is another huge one. Then Google Cloud Platform, GCP, that is also. So these are the top three competitors in the market.
Hmm. Hmm.
People can choose to start with at least one cloud. Now, what does that mean is every cloud platform has its own offering. Azure tells you how you can connect to an Oracle database or an SAP database or a mobile application, etc. It has its own connectors, its set of services. So people can go do some certifications, understand it, learn how to code them, and move forward in the Azure tech stack. There is enough vacancies and demand in the market. Python is a basic knowledge that will serve good to for people across any of these three,
Hmm. Hmm.
Azure, AWS, or GCP. So learning Python and picking at least one cloud and understanding the components of the cloud and doing some hands-on is going to be the first immediate step. So once they understand and they pick up, so when the basic data flow into a particular cloud is needed even for a data engineer or a data scientist or a visualization. So once the data is here, there are, with for the data engineering or data lake house or a data warehouse, there are multiple offerings again. The most famous ones again are on Microsoft Azure, there is Synapse platform or Databricks.
Okay.
We use Databricks in our company. Then
Okay.
on AWS, also Databricks works, but AWS also offerings are there on data handling, data engineering routines. So cloud based, they can pick and choose, keeping Python as one constant language and PySpark. These are the two ones. For visualization, if somebody knows, they can make a start with a Power BI as a tool or Tableau as a
Right.
tool.
Right.
Then there is something called QuickSight, which is AWS's. There is Click. There are a lot of tools, small and big. But one tool, if they learn, the fundamentals are very similar. So if
Right.
I learn Power BI, me to shift into a Tableau based is not very difficult. So
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
say, instead of getting confused, instead of trying to learn too many things, definitely learn Python, possibly learn PySpark, and look at one cloud, Azure or AWS or GCP, and then start there in a journey of data engineering or data visualization. For being a data scientist, math and statistical background is extremely necessary. So picking up some course, there are a lot of edtech courses now available. So looking at some course which takes them deep with the statistical learning, etc., will create a base. And from there onwards, they can start looking at creating some AI, ML based algorithms, NLP models, predictive models, etc. For all of this, Python again is the base.
Right.
You can
Right.
write everything in Python. There is also one language called R.
Hmm. Hmm.
So either of these two, people can make a start. So it's not too many things. People can start small, start with just basically one cloud platform and move. And as they grow up in the ladder, and depending on the opportunities, switching between the cloud data platforms, skilling beyond AWS or Azure or GCP, becomes easier. At least starting, this is the bare minimum, I would say.
Right. So as you mentioned that many companies are providing the certification in data analytics and data science. So is the certification really help in getting the things or getting the job, or there are other way that people can try out?
So the certification, what it will do is, and I personally took Microsoft certifications myself. It will make you think. The quality of these certifications are good, right? Now, I'm not talking about any institute, but you should look at certifications of the companies like Microsoft, AWS, or Google. They
Hmm.
really make you think. They are very hands-on. So what happens is, you will develop a usage-based understanding of the tools,
Okay.
and that is what anybody is looking at in the market today. And as a fresher, if you are entering the world, while nobody expects you to know, for a fresher, people typically test them on attitude and aptitude. If you already know some cloud platform basics, it's a win-win. So it will definitely help, in the job space, into and also to understand and scale very fast in the initial part of your career. So these certifications, I definitely put good amount of value on them. They're hands on. They are not just multiple choice based. You really need to know to answer and get qualified.
Right. So these roles also data engineering or data science roles are complex roles. There are not very simple and straightforward requirements. So for hiring in that role, the freshers are welcome with the certification, or we have the good experienced people having some background.
Both are happening, right? So companies are looking at creating talent in multiple different possible ways. People are open to picking up freshers and giving them, some internal training on data technologies, like we do it. I take interns very regularly and give them the exposure. Companies, the consulting organizations like TCS, Accentures and Cognizance of the world, they hire people in large batches and train them on data or any other cloud-based technologies. That is one way of looking at it. The demand for experienced people is also equally there, because not everybody has the appetite to take freshers, train them, wait for 3 to 4 months before they start performing. So people who already have some work experience and who can get some certification will also have the edge and value. It really depends on the opportunities and vacancies at a company level, but both paths are possible.
Right. And in terms of when you are hiring, what are the hard skill and soft skill on which we judge the candidates?
So while we put them through some basic aptitude exams, if I'm talking about freshers, I really look for their attitude and the learnability. How are they learning? So if Many people come with, okay, I've done this project, I've used Kaggle data set, or I did this particular project with some dummy data set, etc. So I dig them in terms of, okay, what is the problem that you are trying to solve? Why did you choose a particular methodology? Why did you write a particular piece of code? How did it solve the problem? Is this the best method to do it? I'll try to understand, are they thinking, or they just went by, okay, somebody told me to do a plus b, I just did a plus b,
Right.
versus why should I do a plus b, can I do a plus b in 3 to 4 ways, what is the best shortest possible way? That kind of exploration is what makes you stand out, right? So I generally look at attitude and aptitude, and then basis that we take freshers and then we train them. If you have ability to learn, I think you will shine. Like, I am the best example, right? Somebody gave me chances right through my career to learn CRM, Siebel, to learn data analytics, to learn Java, and I had the ability, so I could perform. So
Right.
if I am not open to giving people chances, then there is no meaning to it. That's how I look at it.
Right, right. And these people works in the teams, right? So how that other skill set also plays important role, either the communication or working with the team, because many people or the freshers feel the challenges when they start working with multiple people.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, so corporate is a very, very different world. Startup is another very, very extremely different world. These broadly, these are the two areas where the freshers
Right,
land up, right? So communication, I completely agree with you, is very important. In it's not just writing an email or something. It's about spoken, verbal communication as well, and where to tell what and how much to tell is an art. Many people suffer, around that. So if you ask them a simple question, they go round and round and round in trying to explaining it. So
right.
the best possible thing for any fresher who's attending an interview is try and sharpen their communication and answering skills. Give concise, short, sweet answer. People will
Hmm.
love it. Nobody
Right.
wants to hear tens and lines of answer, right? Give the relevant answer, faster, shorter, sweeter. People will love it. People will be more engaged. That is more very important. Once you are in the job, writing an email and again communicating what you want to tell. If there is an expectation, you need some help from anybody, communicating it very clearly. All of these are subtle things that they can pick up. And most importantly for Gen Z, understanding these dynamics and not thinking that this is office politics is very
Right.
important. Because what I've seen Gen Z at least feel today is, oh, there's so much of hierarchy, there's so much of office politics. Probably it is not. You are moving away from your college world and get entering into a professional world. So a little bit of polish, a little bit of slowing down is naturally expected. So just simple, short communication to the point, I think will solve a lot of communication challenges.
And especially when you're in the data field, you have to be very much precise, right? Rather
Yeah.
than creating more ambiguity.
Yeah, because data is all about creating more clarity, not ambiguity, right? So
Right.
you have to communicate, okay, what did you see? What kind of insights came through? Do you think things are good shape, bad shape? If you are working on some data science, is the predictable prediction 70%, 90% accuracy, what it is? So people just want to understand things with facts, not with a lot of text. So knowing that and giving the real facts in a easy possible manner is very important. Yeah.
Right. So we discussed that there are various roles in the data analytics or data engineering, data science, or data visualization, and various skill set are required either in terms of the Python, any of the cloud platform, Power BI, Tableau. So there are the various tools and technologies are required at each role. Now, and some of the soft skills are required as communication and working in the team. So these are the basic understanding anyone should have when they are working or applying for the job. Now, once they comes in, what are the day-to-day responsibilities when they are working on these roles, and what are the challenges they face?
So for a fresher, the day to day would be, typically in most organizations there is a tech or a team leader who assigns tasks, right? So one basic thing where people face an immediate challenge is, so we all work in agile methodology. We use
Right.
Scrum methodology. So your tasks are divided into 2 week time periods, short 2 week time periods. People start using jargons like user story, task, capacity, blah blah blah. So I would strongly, advise the fresh talent, while they are still in college, even if it is part of their subject or not, understand Scrum, understand agile methodology.
Right.
That will take out a lot of confusion on what these guys are talking about. What are they even doing, right?
Right.
So that is ways of working. Um, some basic understanding around software development lifecycle. I see the next challenge around this, because our curriculum is such. It's not about people are good or bad. Our curriculum is such that it doesn't really teach you the industry basics, right?
Right. Right.
Software development lifecycle is extremely important. Most of the people lack knowledge there. Requirement, design, build, test, go live.
Right.
What are these phases? What happens in each phase? There is a lot of material available in the internet. You don't even need any textbook. Very simple material. Understanding that process, how from one process to the next, things move. What are the dependencies is extremely important. So that way they know how much amount of work is involved if somebody gives them some work, what kind of processes are expected, what kind of deliverables are expected. Should they be creating any design documents? Should they be
Mhm.
creating any unit testing documents? uh, how should the code be written? Should there be comments, clear comments about the codes that they are writing? All these are standards. These are hard to teach. The logic is not hard to teach.
Right.
So if these basics, if people come prepared, I would say 60% of their time they find it very easy to get,
Hmm.
moving forward. And the rest, depending on the organization, there could be an additional routines like a design review, architecture review, code review, whatever. Those people can tell them and move forward, and they will always be under the supervision of a tech leader or a tech architect, so they can guide. But the agile methodology, the SDLC life cycle are things that people don't have time and patience to teach, because
Right.
everybody is running. So these, if they can crack early, the journey is going to be very smooth.
Yes. Great. And there's always tussle between the data team and engineering team.
So when you say engineering team, there is always this system of records, the main source. They are doing their own development, and data team is all about pulling the data and then on a separate environment working.
Right.
So most of the times what happens, the tussle is between the freshness of the data, when can I pull the data, why the data is not getting refreshed, or what if the data flow is failing. So that
Hmm.
kind of tussle is what probably you can see, but it's a healthy one, right?
Right.
um, and at the end of the day, everybody wants to do well in their own thing, and
Mhm.
everybody masters their own domain and their own field. So yes, to begin with, there is going to be those differences, but mutual collaboration is the only answer
Right.
to reduce the friction.
Right. And it happens that the data team needs some data pointers, but the developer has not created the data pointers. So how to manage that type of communications?
So this is where the concept of cross-functional teams or cross-technology teams and scrum of scrums kind of things have evolved in the industry. If I am doing certain work which is cutting across two different teams,
Right.
then it is very, very, very important for them, both of the teams, to sit together and do the planning, to
Hmm.
understand, okay, what is needed. If I have to pull information, let's say from system A and put it in system B, then activities like data mapping, how much data is there, what are the each table level, field level information. So people from both sides sitting together and collaborating and creating one single design and approach is extremely critical. That is the only way it works. And often what happens is the project may be very critical for data team, may not be very critical for the
Right.
behind the scenes system. So there has to be a sponsor who is actually sponsoring at a senior leadership level. They have to tell that yes, this is equal priority for the organization and set those priorities. Only then the friction is reduced. If everybody are working in their own priorities, it is never going to work. It is going to be chaos.
Right. And as the organization grow, the silos also increase, right? So the team start working in the silos, and that create more issue for the
It
bigger organization.
it could be. That is exactly why the sponsor. So the best methodology as we grow up, as we grow as a team, is program managers need to start managing things. So
Right.
they need to create project charters, find sponsors, and set the common a preference for both the teams, common priorities for both the teams, and create steering committees where the senior leadership from both the sides will come and sit and review. So these kind of project and program management practices are the only answer to reduce that friction, set the right priorities, bring people together and execute programs. Knowing technology will not solve it. These are the softer skills of program and
Uh,
project management that will solve it.
right. Right. So the human behavior interaction is always plays important role, and we have seen the impact of AI across the various career and jobs, right? And this data field is evolving, and we are seeing the impact of AI. So how you see the impact of AI is affecting the market in terms of data analytics and science?
I would say in a very positive manner. There has never been a negative impact. See, naturally, with the way of evolution, few jobs may reduce.
Hmm.
We cannot attribute it to saying, okay, AI has come and jobs have gone. That's a very false narrative that has been created.
Right.
Because AI as a technology is there, but you need people who actually do that AI work for you. Maybe earlier four people were doing, now two people are doing, but the rest of the those two people who are moving away are probably doing something else now. It's not that people are losing their jobs left, right, center. Having said that, AI in data world has become extremely important, especially generative AI. A lot of new ways of working is evolving in terms of generative AI. Earlier, you needed a very skilled technology person knowing maybe SQL, etc., write complex queries to pull data. Today, you can ask in plain English using generative AI, and you have all the
You will see.
information on your fingertips.
Right.
So it is changing rapidly. It is helping a lot of teams. It is making the business teams and the functional teams tech savvy and digital oriented, because now they are able to interact with the systems more easier, get the information that they want and run their businesses effectively.
Right.
So the even for technology people, catching up with the latest is definitely a big challenge. Every day some new model, every day some new algorithm is being thrown at the market. So constant upskilling has become very common now.
Hmm.
Everybody is running around. Okay, I need to learn OpenAI. I need to learn GPT, GPT-4, GPT 4.0, whatever. Right? Everybody
Right.
is constantly learning. Every day the products are improving. Products are becoming self-sufficient, much smarter. So the productivity is going really, really up.
And how we see the evolution of career or career path for these people. Let's say someone joining as a fresher in data team. How we see the career after 10 years.
It is definitely going to be very good and more enriching only, because the way technology is evolving right now. We are only looking at one side of the equation, where in a regular team I'm installing some data technologies, but generative AI technology is getting built. How is
Mhm.
OpenAI working? They also need
Right.
people. So
Right.
there is a lot of people that are coming in, that are joining and creating these new technologies. You and even look at what even phone manufacturers, everybody is moving towards data. Apple has come with Apple Intelligence in
Right.
iOS 18. It is taking all the data from your phone and then creating, data science algorithms, AI ML algorithms in the background. Similarly, everybody is investing a lot in AI and ML. Now there is the machines are talking to humans, and the regular application software and everything is generating tons and tons of data. To process all of this data, to make use of this data, to grow businesses, there will be constant need for data professionals. So investing career in data and growing in data space, I would say, not just in next 10 years, probably another 15-20 years also, there is going to be demand. It is going to be slightly different what technologies they use. It might become more easier to implement the data information management technologies.
Right. So we can see the some of the previous jobs reach the saturation level, but the new jobs are opening, right? In
There are
terms of the
always,
data,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So and that is where constant reskilling is important at all levels. Like
Right.
today, the biggest level in a company, the board of directors also are having to understand what is generative AI. What does it mean
Right.
for our company? How can it benefit the company?
Right.
It is no more only an architect's job, right? So everybody's role is changing. It is becoming more and more tech. Now it is no more purely business. Earlier there were purely sales manager, marketing manager, revenue officer, financial officer kind of roles, but everything is getting a new tag of digital marketing, digital revenue, digital finance, etc. So
Right.
the digital and tech is going to be part of everything going forward. So every role is getting redefined.
And how you seen the impact of analytics and their in Cognizant and at currently in Birla?
Different domains, actually, different ways. So Cognizant was more customer consulting, company. So we used to do projects for the customers. I worked in life sciences vertical.
Mhm.
We used to implement a lot of AI and ML technologies on the life sciences technologies, on patient trials, or on pharma or insurance domain, etc. For example, if you everybody would know Policy Bazaar or those kind of things, right? So today, going there and selecting an insurance for you has become click of a button. There is a lot of
Right.
AI model that runs behind the scenes. So those kind of work is what typically I was involved for the customers. In Birla Carbon, this is more core manufacturing. We manufacture carbon black. So we are looking at, okay, how can I improve my throughput? How can I, with the same amount of raw material, how can I do more production of carbon black? And what are my opportunities to reduce waste? Where am I spending more energy, more electricity, more raw material? How can I reduce? How can I optimize there? How can I make my machine downtime low? How do I do predictive maintenance on the machines? So different way, but same AI ML analytics. So every company toward today is moving very fast towards digital transformation and data and analytics. It is no more an option, it is mandatory.
Right, right. And data plays an important role, and all the traditional organization also understanding that data plays a very important role and how they can utilize to grow further.
Yeah. So see, it has always actually been the case. So for any company, even in a non-digital world, you need to know how much am I producing, how much am I selling, who is
Right.
buying, will they buy more, do they want to look at something new, do they like my product or not? All of this is data,
Mhm.
and they used to do that on maybe Excel sheets, etc. But today the systems have become very intelligent without anybody sitting and trying to do it. Systems are doing the trend analysis and saying that is where the AI ML algorithms are working, and they are
Right.
able to tell the customer behavior, the sentiment analysis of the customer, whether customers are liking the product or no, should we change what we are doing. So that mining the data has become easier. The another significant thing that has happened is the costs of doing all of this have come down because
Right.
of the cloud. Storage cost and compute costs have reduced significantly, and my ability to create a analytic solution in cloud is a flip of a button today.
Right.
Earlier, I used we people had to order hardware, wait
Hmm.
for 3 to 4 months for that hardware to come, then
Right.
install software, then understand it, learn it, implement it. But today, just swipe your credit card, go get a cloud subscription, and just get started. It is that
Right. Right.
easy. So that's the fundamental change today.
Right. And as all organizations understanding the importance of data, and they are investing heavily, and that's why the new opportunities are keep on opening in the data professionals. And so, what will be our final advice to all the people, all the students who are looking for the career in the data professional field?
So, data is going to stay, understanding what's evolving. Don't get bogged down by new technology that is coming out every day. Pick one domain, pick one niche area,
Mhm.
and make a start. It is not as complex as it looks, is
Mhm.
what I want to say. The second biggest differentiator is try and understand a business process.
Right.
Unless you know a business process, you cannot understand the data that they are generating. Once you know the business process and the data they are generating, then you will be able to do a lot more in data analytics. You will be able to tell whether the business is doing good, bad, ugly, what should they change, and you can do all of that using the technology. And that is what companies need. They need people who know what they do and suggest technology solutions. Nobody wants a pure play Python developer. What will they do if
Hmm.
they don't know the business?
Right.
Try and learn as much business functional knowledge also as you can.
So apart from the technical skills, there should be soft skill, and in the soft skill, understanding business plays a very important role, because
Yes,
many times we have seen that people they are good developer or they are good engineers, but they are stay away from the business, and that's one hurdle for their career growth.
that is true because they don't know what they are solving. Why should I write a data science program? What will it solve? Either it should increase my sales, it should reduce my costs, it should find me new opportunities as a company. Because any industry you take, that industry is around creating some product, selling the product, increasing their sale revenue, reducing their cost. These are the four basic things.
Right.
You take FMCG industry, you take healthcare industry, you take manufacturing industry, you take BFSI, banking industry, any industry, everybody's creating an offering for people, by selling it, getting money, trying to
Right.
find new ways to make more money.
Right.
This is the ultimate thing, right? So understanding that will make it very easy, for the person to put the right solution in place, and even the companies will really appreciate it. Many times the data science uh, programs fail because the people developing those programs don't know what the business is doing. So they just put a statistical model, but they don't know how to fine tune it.
Hmm.
That you only know when you know the business.
Right, right. And that plays a very important role. Any of the role you're doing, you have to make sure you first understand the business, what are the problem, what is the solution you need, and then how to use technology to find a solution.
Correct. That is a very, very, very powerful skill to have.
Hmm.
Not many are thinking about it, but if people start doing that way, I think it's going to be exceptionally good for their careers.
And that plays an important role because all engineers have to understand business now, because because earlier it's only the technical skill. Now it's not like that.
That's right. That's right. So they can get initial footing, but they will suffer. The growth will be slower because people only appreciate who knows more information than just technology, right? So it'll always help. So people should concentrate on understanding at least the high level business process along with technology.
Great, amazing. Thank you so much, Kiran, for your time and giving the insight about the multiple job roles, sharing your journey.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Dushyant. It was great interacting with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.